Hey everybody, welcome to the first Helios Decentral podcast slash vlog. I'm Jeremy Jones.
I'm Dylan Modell, and we're part of a cooperative called Helios, where we're working on a whole bunch of different projects in the blockchain and space and in the decentralized space.
And we have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, we got. We're actually filming this after we just talked, and we're because our original intro was crap, and we're talking about crypto kitties. We talk about Alex Jones.
Oh jeez.
We talk about PotCoin. We talk about we talk about important stuff. We get into philosophical discussion about Bitcoin
Application of blockchain and
application
crypto.
and just about the stuff being overpriced. We're not fudding,
Yeah.
but we want to talk about overpriced cryptocurrencies. And so, enjoy.
So I want to talk about blockchain, the key word here, the big word.
Good old BC.
So-
Fuck you, British Columbia. We're blocked. We've taken the BC from you. Also, the entire era before Christ.
So what I want to talk about is why do we need blockchain? Why blockchain? What are your thoughts on that, Dylan?
Why blockchain? Well, because it makes. There's a lot of reasons why blockchain. I mean, one of the most powerful things about blockchain is that it gets rid of the need for people to try to trust one another, and so you don't need these institutions, these middlemen, that you impart your trust to. Mm-hmm. And so you can inherently be a skeptic and a trustless person, and the society won't break down. Everything will work right. And it will really take power away from centralized authority and bring it down to the people. I mean, that's why Satoshi Nakamoto did it, and did what he did, and that's why I got interested in it. I mean, yeah. I mean, originally, it was because I hated Wall Street. I hated the banks, and I was like, yeah, this is a good middle finger to those guys. But yeah, I mean, the implications are grand.
And do you have any speculation of who Satoshi Nakamoto could be? Because I've heard a lot of theories, actually.
Are we gonna go into this right now?
Well, what do you think? I don't think I've ever asked you this.
Okay. So some people think that he's Elon Musk. Some people think that he's an AI. But what I think is that Elon Musk is an AI, so they're both true. So Elon, go on Joe Rogan's podcast, and you'll know what I mean. Elon Musk is a robot, and is Satoshi Nakamoto.
Well, isn't Elon Musk sort of anti-AI, or is he? I mean, I've heard a lot.
Well, I mean, yeah, because he wants to be the only one. I don't. There is this. Yeah. No, I don't really. It actually doesn't matter who Satoshi Nakamoto is. And that was what's great is he even, before he went silent, he basically said, don't trust anyone if they say I'm me. No one is me. So even if he tried to come out and say I'm really Satoshi Nakamoto, no one would believe him.
I think there's already been several people to come out and be like, I'm the true Satoshi.
Who I really feel bad for is that poor Japanese dude. The name Satoshi Nakamoto.
The guy,
And he's like he's like, well, he's a computer engineer from the 80s. It's like everyone was, there was a lot of those people. And this poor dude just got hounded. I remember during the first run-up of Bitcoin's price back in 2013 and GDAX, the whole, not GDAX, fucking Mount Gox.
Mount Gox, yeah.
And that whole thing, it was all happening. And yeah, this poor dude was being hounded by like CNN. Are you the Satoshi Nakamoto? He's like, leave me alone.
I think he was like, well, what's Bitcoin?
Yeah,
what?
He was like, leave me alone, basically.
Yeah, so I mean, I agree. It's almost at this point not even important who he or she or it is.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a rogue AI. Come on.
Yeah. It's the Illuminati trying to control us. I've heard that theory, actually.
Illuminati, it's like the Illuminati thing is like, it was in a Taco Bell commercial recently. They were like selling tacos by saying but doing a play on the Illuminati thing. It's like, so it's conspiracy theories are now just mainstream, and it's just like, okay, sure, whatever. I don't care.
We know it's a crazy world when Alex Jones is almost mainstream news now.
Let's not get Alex Jones. This is not that kind of podcast.
I swear it's not.
You libtards.
All right, we're getting off topic here. Actually, what is the topic today?
We don't. I mean,
it's not really a topic, but
okay. So we talk about blockchain. I mean, our application for blockchain for Helios is to make a cooperative and keep the cooperative's structure, its charter, its voting all on blockchain technology. And that's a really powerful thing, getting away from corporate structures and getting towards a more cooperative structures and alliances between the different projects, sort of like how credit unions have alliances. Basically just eroding centralized power and creating a world where we don't need to rely on these huge, too big to fail institutions anymore.
What? So you mentioned cooperative. Yeah. What's the value of that in your opinion?
So cooperatives are cool because what defines them is that they are worker owned or member owned, or they're owned. There could be shareholders, some kind of investment structure, but the investors have to prove in some way that they are working for the project or that they are passionate about the project. And so cooperatives allow people to work on what they want to work on and share resources in a way that in a way that no other structure really can. In fact, there have been studies that show that cooperatives actually survive their first 5 years 95% of the time, compared to companies, C Corps, for instance, which survive only like 3% of the time after a 5-year period.
What's the reasoning behind that, or what's?
Well, because companies fail. Yeah. Companies grow and fail. It's common knowledge, and because they're going to venture capitalists, and venture capitalists want a 10x return in 5 years, and they don't want anything else, and so you have to have a very specific company for that.
It has a lot to do with pushing this for-profit sort of entity,
Yeah, and only certain products will make it out of that process. Well, cooperatives, you could get a lot of different kinds of products coming out.
Yeah.
Like, okay, Bitcoin is a cooperative. I mean, there is a foundation, and there are a lot of people, especially in the Bitcoin Cash community, who think that there's a centralized structure there and that it's being corrupted in some way. But it is very much a cooperative, and so is almost all these other projects, where you have developers on the GitHub submitting their proposals, getting their proposals implemented. It very much is just a collaborative. But when finding a way to formalize that cooperative, that open source structure, that will be when Bitcoin flourishes, really. And yeah, so Cardano is one of these projects that are really focusing on getting voting.
So yeah, let's talk about that. There's a lot of projects and ICOs there's like 20 or 100 ICOs like popping up every week.
Yeah,
it's like you can't even keep up with it anymore.
No.
So
No, whatever's on CoinMarketCap in the top 100. That's all I know about, basically.
yeah, I mean, I see. I mean, I get inundated. People sending me like messages on Facebook, and I mean, a lot of these crypto groups like this ICO. It's
Yeah.
it's
John McAfee tweeted today, kilowatt hour coin, and I was like, okay. And then I searched CoinMarketCap. It's not even on CoinMarketCap yet. And I was like, well, okay. It was like 13 days to the beginning of the ICO. They don't have a white paper, I don't think. I didn't see one on their website. Sorry, kilowatt hour coin lovers out there. That if link down in the comments if for the white paper, I'd like to read it.
yeah.
But there's just so many projects.
Well, there's a lot of projects, and it's almost like someone new getting into this space. Like I remember when I first got into this space back in August. I mean, it's inundating enough just like reading about Bitcoin and Ethereum and Litecoin and like what is blockchain, but I mean every day there's like a new project coming up, and it's like what do I invest in, what's and there's a lot of scams out there. I've heard a lot of people getting scammed.
So many scams.
So it's like, how do you?
Oh my god.
So this is actually one.
I want to talk about a scam. Can I talk about a scam?
Okay. So this kind of ties into what I wanted to say. So like, how do you know, like what cryptocurrencies or what blockchain projects I should say, or have real value and actual tech behind them? Like how do you find this? Because I mean, there's a lot of white papers even now, like Tron. I heard. Speaking of scams, possibly.
Yeah, you were telling me about this.
I read an article recently that Tron's white paper was completely plagiarized. So I mean,
was it completely plagiarized?
Did
they at least try?
I don't know. I mean, I personally
cover it.
I have not read the Tron white paper, and I know there's a lot.
I've also not read
the Tron community is huge.
I've read some white papers, but I've not read that white paper.
But I saw that, and it could be another FUD article. But
well, look, man, look. Here's the reason I didn't even read the white paper. So I got as far down to their roadmap. Have you seen this?
No.
Oh my god. Their roadmap is they have one item per year, I think, and it goes all the way to like 2027 in their roadmap.
Oh, jeez.
And it's like every year or every 2 years they have this like maybe new phase to their company or to their coin that are really vague. It's basically just some word like illumination or like equivescent, and it's just like what? And maybe it's like really bad translation from Chinese to English.
Yeah.
But it's just like there's this meme out right now. There's like super sadistic service, and then I'm looking at the Tron roadmap, and that to me.
Well, it's like imagine if I don't know, like imagine if like when Facebook was starting, and it's like back in like I don't know 04 or something, like in 2014 we're gonna release our first instant messaging like.
And everyone left MySpace that day. Well, before they even had a thing.
So okay, so that kind of ties into like what is the value in some of these projects? I mean, like we talked about Cardano, and I love Cardano. It's one of my favorite projects out there.
Yeah, I really.
And
love
it's like
Cardano.
they got a great team, and there's
what's
a
it?
lot of
Hutchinson?
Hoskinson?
I
don't know how to pronounce his name.
Husky Son.
Husky Son.
I love Husky Son.
I think it's like the Japanese translation of his name. Husky Son. So overvaluation and scams and like how do you know what to invest in and what to follow and what's
well that's the problem is that's the only thing anyone's ever thinking about is what to invest in. But when you look, it's all hype. It's almost all hype, right? I mean, point to the products that have a working point to the coins with a working product on it. And there aren't many. Bitcoin, when you look at Bitcoin, its products, you could say, are the exchanges because everyone uses it as the base coin in the exchanges. And so that's its basically only use case right now. But I mean, that's not 100% true. There are other applications of Bitcoin that have popped up. I mean, Bitcoin's actually been around for a while now, right? But like, let's say Ethereum, you got CryptoKitties, and that's about it.
Well, as far as
there's wallets.
I mean, isn't CryptoKitties the only like large scale like application of
Ethereum? Yeah,
I mean, or pretty much
or
any
or,
project.
or anything. Yeah, I mean, well, it's unique in that it uses the technology outside of being a currency itself, and this is the whole. This is why Vitalik Buterin even made Ethereum, was to make a Turing complete blockchain where you can make dApps on it. And which dApps do people use on a daily basis except for the CryptoKitty people? I mean, so everyone talks about, like, I don't know, at Cardano, what it's valued at, it's like 16, 18
like
billion
$20
dollars
billion today, and that's even with a big pullback, like 20 billion.
And what product do they have? No product at all. I love Chris Husky Sons.
Charles
Husky Sons. I think he's great. I think he's great. And I love their project. I really like the approach they're taking to everything. I respect the academic
everything's
approach.
peer reviewed. It's at the
amazing.
highest academic level. I mean, it's
the opposite of what Tron is.
basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's basically the opposite of Tron, where you have just complete plagiarize.
Well, and I think Cardano, I mean, there's no use case yet, but I feel like their roadmap, it's very long, but it's I feel like it's, with the team that they have and the vision that they have, I think it's actually realistic. They're trying to solve real problems in this space. In the
and they're getting their API and their development out. They have a Mergo, which is sort of like their ERC20 dApp environment version of that. They're trying to get dApps built on it. And I want to see them. Here's the thing: I want to see all of the legitimate coins and tokens succeed. I don't want to FUD on everyone. I want to FUD on Tron, because actually plagiarizing your whole thing.
And we should
really
look more into that.
Pisses me off.
But and to be fair, a lot of white papers that I've looked at, there's a sort of a cut and paste sort of mentality to this.
I'm writing one right now, and I'm pouring my life into it. I'm pouring my time and all of my brain power into making this happen. And you look at other people, like, okay, Satoshi Nakamoto's white paper is freaking brilliant. Okay, it's 9 pages. It is technical, but it also gets to the point of what it is. Pretty. It conveys. It's beautiful. It's one of the best written things I've ever read, because it gets you through a technical way to see the future that he was seeing. Other white papers, there are good ones. Steam's white paper, I just read. It's really long, because they have the blue paper, they have their white paper, and then they have this SMT thing. I think it's just, is it social media tokens, I think, maybe, or Steam media tokens, where you can take Steam and use and make coins on top of it, and use it for your community to monetize your community. And it's really well thought out.
Yeah.
I actually love Steam.
Well, Steam is sort
of... Well, there's one with an actual application.
That is true, actually.
Yeah. And because you got DTube, which, sorry, that sounds like a porn website. DTube. What is that? What could that be? And DTube. Why doesn't DTube should just let itself be porn and then rebrand itself to a better name than DTube, but then leave DTube for porn, because that is a great... I mean, they should do porn. Where is the porn? Didn't you say you knew someone who was doing a porn? Was that you?
I think it was me.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I have heard there are some porn.
Someone I was messaging.
Like there's somebody posted something in one of these Facebook groups. It was like a spank chain or something.
Spank chain.
But there's there's a blockchain.
Props to Spank Chain on the name. Good job, Spank Chain. I think that any application is valid. You go ahead and do it. I do not respect the coins that are scams. Oh, this is what I wanted to say. Was one of the biggest like scammy coins to come out. Kodak coin.
Yes, I was reading about that.
Dude.
I had a couple of my friends send me messages like, dude, you got to get in on this Kodak coin. I like the idea. And
what? Get out of here. If you took 2 seconds, I'm now talking to your friends. If you took 2 seconds to look at what it was, you'd be like, this is a scam. Well, it wasn't even the coin that was, the coin is just, what is it? What? No, okay. It's basically doing some way of like copyrights or some kind of ownerships of photography by having embedded tokens into photographs and maybe in the metadata or something like that. And making like a stock image website where your images could be kept track of or something like that.
Well, I feel
which is interesting, but like, why Kodak?
Yeah.
Why is Kodak doing that?
I mean,
I could see Flickr doing that.
I feel like Kodak is kind of on its last legs. I mean, they've been on their last legs for a
Yeah,
while.
I looked at their stock prices. I mean, it was literally the only increase they've had in their stock prices in so long.
So I feel like the word blockchain, like, what was it? Overstock.com mentioned, that they were going to start like implementing blockchain. Stock chain.
You're welcome, Overstock.
And it's like their stock like tripled in like a week or something. I don't know like exactly what it was, but it just exploded. And like now companies are just mentioning blockchain and we're going to put out a coin and like,
it's greed. But you know what's great about this whole community? I truly believe that the greed will not prevail. I do think that the greedy will eventually be hurt, because the whole system is actually incentivized towards real change, and there will always be the Vitaliks of the. I mean, I was very skeptical about Vitalik when he was first started, because he was younger than me.
Yeah.
I was really young when I first got into Bitcoin.
I feel like he's very. It's weird, like in the community, a lot of people either love him or they just don't trust him, or they think he's not real, or just not like he's not the next like,
because he looks like Gollum. My precious Ethereum coin. He looks like Gollum, but he is.
I mean, he's a genius, though. I mean,
I mean, look, he wasn't the only person that wrote Ethereum, okay, but he was the drive for it, and I read all of his articles that he writes. And he's very critical of the blockchain world. Very critical. More critical than anybody else. And I respect him for that, because he doesn't like what we're talking about. He said when we hit half a trillion on CoinMarketCap for the market cap, the total market cap, he said, "Do we deserve this?" No. And he was right. He went on a whole Twitter rampage, being like, "We don't deserve this."
It's going back into overvaluation.
Yeah.
Like what is the actual?
He's like, how many people? What was it? Was how many unbanked have we banked? How many uninsured have we insured? And I think, was it right after that the CryptoKitties came out, and it was like well, Vitalik, here's one thing we could do on your network. We can crash it.
We're going to slow it down.
With cats. It was like the ultimate answer to his questions. It's
like it had to be cats, right? Like, of all things.
Freaking cats. Yeah. They're adorable, though.
Yeah.
They're adorable.
I personally do not own a CryptoKitty. I don't know if you do own any CryptoKitties.
The only reason I'm talking about them is because they're endorsing me. They should wear CryptoKitties.
Hey, I wouldn't.
Hey, CryptoKitties! If you'd like to sponsor this podcast, I will dress up as a CryptoKitty furry and do this podcast.
I'll take a t-shirt. But yeah, I'll take a t-shirt.
You'll just no. We gotta do this whole. We'll scriff.
Well, but you know what's funny is that like we're talking about application and like real world application, and like what was another one you said? There's like a fishbowl one now that's out or something like.
Yeah, I saw. I think it was at CES. It was a kind of a CryptoKitties clone. was a fishbowl game where you have your own fish. I think you can breed the
Breed
fish,
them or eat
or
other
they
fish.
eat other fish and they grow, and maybe also you can breed them or something like that. I think that like that whole thing's
I
interesting.
mean, but I think this is an example. It just goes to show you that like where we are with real world application. I mean, we have these very simple sort of concepts. I mean, CryptoKitties is not really anything. I mean,
but you know, actually, okay, it's silly, but I actually really respect CryptoKitties.
Oh no, I'm not saying that I
they
don't respect them.
I've read their white paper. That's what they call it, paper. I love their
Is it really? They really call it?
Yes. No, I love their attitude. They have a great attitude. You know, it's just fun.
No,
the whole thing's fun. You know, and they know it's funny.
In a way, it's innovative, but I'm saying it's like it's a very simple application. You know what I mean?
Yes,
and that is where we
simple.
are right now
Totally.
with the blockchain. You know what I mean? It's and it's only going to evolve from here.
They're the only one with an accurate reading on what they're worth. Because they've done $20 million worth of sales on CryptoKitties.
Yeah.
Between people, they take about I think a 3.75% cut of that, and so here is one company or one project where we can go. We know exactly how much this is worth. It's worth about $20 million, or you know some extrapolation of that. I mean, they did $20 million in a month. You know, how long will that last? Probably not any time. You know, a couple more months, and then it will really die down. I mean, there's people with Beanie Babies still.
Yeah.
I don't know. Are there still Beanie Babies being sold on eBay?
There's a whole network of people. I'm sure.
but yeah, I mean, they'll when they get their partnership with Build-A-Bear or something, get your own CryptoKitty built at Build-A-Bear. You're welcome, CryptoKitties, for that idea, by the way. Seriously, call me. I want to
be your PR guy. He'll wear a CryptoKitties costume.
I will. I'll stand outside of the corner with a sign in a CryptoKitties suit. I sort of just sit there.
But just kind of going full circle here, like back to what we're talking about, like overvaluation, application of the blockchain, scams, like. What do you see like in this year, like 2018? Like what's next? What's the next big breakthrough on the blockchain?
2018 has to be the year that we show what we can do. It has to be that. It has to be the year that we show what we can do. And if we can't do that, then we're screwed. Sorry, I'm gonna turn my thing off. We're screwed. No one's going to take us seriously if we don't prove that we can actually create real world solutions to problems using blockchain. Now, I know there's a lot of people out there right now that are saying, but Dylan, people are using Bitcoin to get away from oppressive governments
or store value and
and I would say
are
yes,
inflated.
I think personally that in terms of a currency, they've already proven themselves. There's a lot of ups and downs, so there needs to be stability across the board on the currency coins, right? Because there's a difference, right?
There's really not a lot of true currency coins.
There really won't be that many.
Utility.
There really won't be that many. I mean, there'll be a lot of currency coins forever, but in terms of we'll see which ones. Those will have a sort of winner takes. I don't think winner takes all, but winner takes most sort of thing. And I don't even know if it exists today. I don't even know if the currency of the future exists. It might just be a Bitcoin, and the core developers update it, and it's just Bitcoin. I hope that that's what it is, because Bitcoin has this amazing history behind it, and it would be kind of beautiful, but it's already sort of proven in my mind that it can be a currency. In fact, it was proven in my mind 5 years ago, more than that for me. 7 years ago. And so what I really want to see are the decentralized applications. I want to really see these things flourish. And so so basically we need to see application, real world
application for us to
Yeah.
succeed.
Yeah.
And like 2018 is sort of the make it or break it year, is what you're saying.
Yeah, there was a great post about Ryblox on Reddit, and I don't know too much about Ryblox. I have the white paper downloaded on my computer. I got to read it, and I haven't really used it, but I saw this great Reddit post about how this guy is using Ryblox to give his kid an allowance.
Mm-hmm.
And so he does chores and he gets a certain amount of Ryblox, gives his son a certain amount of Ryblox, and it's instant transfer and it's zero transaction fees and all that. And I can see how it's, when I look at that, I'm like, okay, that's a good way to use his currency, but that could be used for a lot of other things too. When I see instant transfers, I instantly think it's going to be, that's already a problem for a currency because there cannot be that much security when it's like that. Vitalik actually just recently posted on Medium about this. Having slower than instant transactions is actually good for, obviously the 10-minute, Bitcoin transactions. If they're 10 minutes, if you pay the $30 or $20 for the fee right now, usually they're like 6 hours now.
Yeah.
That's never going to work, but Ethereum, like 30 seconds to wait for a transaction to go through, that's like pretty optimal because you limit how many, you limit something like a DDoS attack or you make it more expensive for attackers. But then for general use case, like you don't really need instant transfers. I mean, not really, nothing you use really has instant transfers, even when you run a credit card. There's an instant transfer.
So what do you think? Like, I guess it sort of is right now, like a race to the first application. You know what I mean? Like it's
no,
like,
CryptoKitties won. So okay, there are some applications. Steemit is an amazing community. I think it could actually rival Facebook. I think Steemit might be the next Facebook, legitimately.
Mm-hmm.
DTube.
How long has Steemit been around, by the way? It's been
I actually don't
few
know.
years. I mean, I'm not.
I actually don't know. I wasn't really plugged into it until recently.
I remember people talking about
late
it
last year
for a while, and it kind of went away. And then when I got into the space,
well,
I was like,
I was checking out DTube. I think like when it first came out, it's like beta version that came out, the first beta version. I saw it on Reddit, checked it out, really cool, and I love the idea. I think the idea of Steemit, where you are basically paid to do content, to contribute, is amazing. It's really powerful, actually. It could be used in so many different ways. Steemit is just like a proof of concept of it, and it's going to be used on so many different social media platforms. Of course, there are competitors. The Telegram just announced that they're going to do a coin.
oh, really? I didn't see that. No.
Yeah, Ton, Ton, Telegram, something network or something. Like that. And it sounds a lot like what Steemit is doing, actually. But Steemit has an amazing community.
Yeah. And they were first.
Put this on. We should put this on Steemit and DTube.
Yeah.
Hello, Steemit and DTube.
Cool. I think. There's so much to talk about. I mean, it's
I do. So in the vein of currencies that are overvalued or scams, there's one that we neglected to talk about, and that's PotCoin.
jeez.
Let's talk about PotCoin. This is an interesting thing to me because this is Dennis Rodman. Okay, I remember when I was a kid and I would watch Dennis Rodman on the Lakers. Okay, I grew up in Southern California. I remember he had funny hair. He was crazy. Okay, I thought it was crazy then. He's nuts now. Oh my God.
Well, he's like going to North Korea and
Yeah, okay. So there's this it's a meme. It's a meme that he is friends with Kim Jong Un. I mean, he actually seems to be somewhat friends. He's like met with him like 4 times, okay? He can't be that good of a friend. It's like, I don't know.
Well, I think Kim
4
Jong Un
times.
like just loves him. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
right.
like a fan or
Yeah, right. And they get together and they they shoot the shit and so here's the thing, like everyone was like, come on, Dennis Rodman, save us when they got ICBMs that can launch nukes. When they got that working, they were like, get Dennis Rodman on the case, and it was a joke. But then people were kind of being serious about it, to the point that Stephen Colbert invited him on his show. Did you?
I didn't see it, but I heard
okay,
about
so
it.
he invited him on his show, and I don't know what Stephen Colbert. Maybe he was just following the hype behind Dennis Rodman being able to like stop nuclear war, because all of his questions were like, well, kind of like, well, what would you say to him, And Dennis Rodman was just like, we don't talk about that shit.
Well,
we don't talk about that shit. All we do is talk about basketball.
Well, I saw a GIF or like an image or something, and he had like a PotCoin shirt on.
Well, so that's the thing.
So what's
so
that
no. So listen. Listen. So he's coming out from behind the stage, and everyone's like, everyone watching is like, here is Dennis Rodman. Is he gonna save us from nuclear destruction? And the image of him walking out in I think it's the Sullivan Theater, and he's wearing this ugly ass shirt that says potcoin.com. And it's like an instant, like, oh God, this is definitely not the guy. And right underneath the PotCoin thing, there's Dennis Rodman, there's Donald Trump holding the American flag, and then there's Kim Jong Un on this side holding the North Korean flag.
Oh man!
And Dennis Rodman's in the middle, and he was like, and the whole time, Stephen Colbert's trying to be serious and be like, well, are you going to ask him to, like, please don't nuke us?
Like, don't kill the
world. Can you not nuke us? He's like, nah, man, like, just talk about, like, basketball, and you're looking at this total clown,
so
man.
what's the point of the pot? Like, why PotCoin? Why is Dennis Rodman pumping this? Like, what is PotCoin?
Because he smokes it. I don't know. Look, hey, I just want to say I got nothing against pot smokers at all. Nothing. We're in California. It's legal here. I think I don't. Screw you, Jeff Sessions, you hypocrite, coming on states' rights, trying to like shut it down. But so I don't know what PotCoin is really. It might be amazing, but why? This actually gets back to your question earlier, which is like, why a currency, right? Mm-hmm. What's the point? What's the point of creating a currency solely around pot?
Well, yeah, I mean, why? I mean, I truly understand the value of having something on the blockchain. But why does every project need a currency? And
why does a dispensary need a currency of their own?
I mean, there's so many examples
What's
of this.
the reason?
Like, I love a lot of these solar projects that are coming up, and I have, several friends who are investing. And
they're kilowatt hour coin, I think is one of those.
But the point is, like, why does a solar company or putting solar on the blockchain, I understand, but why do you need a currency? I guess that's my question.
I don't know either. Like, and I actually don't know why people make a whole new blockchain. Mm-hmm. Like, when you go on CoinMarketCap, you can actually filter between currency and tokens. Mm-hmm. And I think so. The difference is that tokens are built on currency platforms. So you could say that actually the tokens are the products that are being built on the currencies. But it's like every project that comes out is so grand in scope, and I'm all about grand in scope. I mean, Helios is going to have a grand scope for sure. But why not use existing protocols to build something that actually works, right?
Yeah.
Just build something that works. And then you could talk about building a whole currency around. We don't need a new currency. Let's make the currencies we have better through updates and soft
It's like
forks.
there's more than 1,000. I mean, I don't know how many there are exactly, but there's hundreds of these things, and it's like
No, there's thousands.
there's thousands.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like,
definitely thousands.
it's sort of, I feel like that's all hype. You know what I mean? And it's like and it's going back to what we were talking about earlier. Like,
I mean, it's like maybe 80% hype.
it's like, and I feel like a lot of the hype and I think Vitalik is completely right in that. Are we really worth $500 million? Or now it's almost $1 trillion. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And it's like we need application. We need problem solving. We need to solve problems that are
It will also stabilize the currencies. Like if Ethereum had a bunch of dApps, maybe like a dApp store, like the Ethereum dApp store. Oh, there's something that would be interesting to build. What would you fill it with, though? Right now, just literally just be crypto kids. Just crypto kids. No, that's not true. There'd be some others. But, if you had a bunch of dApps, I seriously think it would stabilize these crazy fluctuations because you would have actual value that you could point to. Right now, it's hard to point to the value. It's like, well, it's deflationary. There's only going to be so many of them. Get on the train now. Okay, but then you need to actually build something with it. Bitcoin is a special one because it is the intermediary between all the other coins.
And it was also the first big one.
Yeah.
To really,
Yeah, but that doesn't insulate it from that does not insulate it from the fact that it needs a specific use case to survive. But it kind of has its use case. And it is as a currency or a commodity. Bitcoin Cash is the currency version of it.
God, don't get me started on that.
It's too polarizing of an issue to talk about here on this pod. It's outside the scope of this podcast. But yeah, like build a token on someone else's currency. That would stabilize that currency. And I think that's the right way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want. So this is the question about the whole PotCoin thing. If you're a dispensary, you're a legal dispensary, okay? Why would you create? Let's not even talk about pot. Let's talk about liquor stores. Why would liquor stores create their own currency, right? I can understand them wanting like a gift card thing, maybe coupons, maybe. But if you're a store owner, if you're a business owner, why would you want your own currency? You don't want your own currency. You want people giving you their currency that's a currency that you could trade some other place. You don't want an intermediary that you have control over. I don't really understand it.
Well, I feel like what a lot of people are calling cryptocurrencies are actually more like utility tokens or not even utility tokens, just a token. You know what I mean?
I'll say this. If you have no product, then what is the utility of the token?
Yeah.
You could say it's something.
True.
You can say it's something. So no, I think you're right and wrong at the same. I think you're right in that's what they say they are, but the intention is a little more cloudy, right? Because you have what everyone calls cryptocurrencies, and then in there you have utility tokens, which is what they say so that the SEC doesn't shut them down. Their ICO, okay? So they'll just say it's a utility token, but really it's like, get rich quick. It's all about those gains.
And I think that's where
Dentacoin gains.
I think that's where the scamming aspect comes in. I mean, there's so many scams crypto is a scammer's paradise. It's a hacker's paradise. I mean, and I feel like that is an issue that needs to be solved.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is where the government can actually make strides, and make improve things.
Look, I actually want there to be regulation. I don't want it to come from the IRS or the SEC. I do not like those institutions. They have a really bad track record. But we need some sort of regulation. What I would really love to see is the projects all come together in an alliance and maybe sign like a digital constitution and from there actually regulate themselves. That would be a beautiful sight. Self-regulating. but that's the anarcho-capitalist in me, I guess. But I really do think that can be done. It sucks that Ethereum's DAO was hacked. Was hacked so early on. It's not because I want to see DAOs succeed. It's just that one was not implemented correctly. There's a real need for DAOs, but no one can ever call it a DAO anymore.
What does DAO stand for again?
Decentralized Autonomous Organization.
That's right.
It's a mouthful.
Yeah.
Let's just call them co-ops.
Yeah.
That's what
basically
a co-op is. Yeah. That's what a co-op is. We just need to, and co-ops are growing. Like actually just last year, California formalized their legal and tax codes around co-ops, worker-owned co-ops. And it's a growing space. And the DAO, the whole DAO thing, it just, we can't call it DAOs anymore. It's got a bad connotation. Not okay. I say everyone, but like 90% of the people that have any cryptocurrency right now bought it within like the last 6 months or something. Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that an overstatement? 90%?
There's been a huge influx in the last.
I mean, I've had Bitcoin since 2010.
Yeah. And you were part of the Mt. Gox hack, right? Or I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm still waiting. That wasn't that much. It wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything. I mean, I want that money, but it wasn't anything like huge. I actually
just what, like a few million now.
Yeah.
Just like $20 million.
Yeah. I want my Lambo.
Oh, jeez.
What's that guy's name again? God, the Mt. Gox guy. Oh, he's got a weird name.
I don't remember.
What? Can I ask a question?
What?
Are you a car guy?
I'm not really.
Why Lambos? They look stupid. Do they not look stupid?
I mean,
how can you? Is it possible to look not like a douchebag in the Lambo? I maybe it was just a Photoshop, but I saw a Lambo.
It's like
with Bitcoin just like
I feel like
printed
Lambos
all over it in decals.
That when poor people get rich, they buy. But like you look at like Bill Gates, he drives like a fucking Prius.
Yeah, and he wears JCPenney.
He wears he's like
he or whatever. Dude, you gotta be frugal. I think a lot of these people that got into it, they're not real investors. They don't have good practices, and so a lot of people. It's not just that these currencies are scammy. It's a lot of people are just dumb. Or inexperienced.
Or gullible. I should say gullible.
Gullible,
naive.
Inexperienced, naive.
Yeah.
And so I from a regulator's point of view, I understand why this could be worrying because you have a responsibility to protect all these people. Regulatory agencies, they exist for two reasons. One, their original purpose, if they're not being co-opted by corporations, is to keep dumb people from making mistakes that screw them, right? Because that's bad for everybody. Protecting the dumb people from ourselves.
That and also to protect, like major corporations, like for-profit entities, from harming.
Who are you joking? When has a regulatory agency ever been used that way?
Well, no, but I'm saying that's in theory.
Yeah.
Like
how much did Exxon get fined for the whole Exxon Valdez spill?
I'm just saying, in theory, that's what it's supposed to be.
Does anyone remember the Exxon Valdez spill? That's like old news. It's really old news.
But like for example, like the FDA approving pharmaceutical drugs, but we all know how that goes. But in theory, that's what it's supposed to be used for. It's to protect individual citizens. But then we have Citizens United, and this.
Yeah, but the only, So what I'm saying is, I get that's what. It's never been used that way.
Yeah.
Really.
But I don't really see any purpose in this space in that way. You know what I mean?
No, or in any. I don't see it ever used. But what I do actually see is protecting dumb people from themselves. Enforcing best practices in investing. I think that's a good idea. I think that the ICOs that were shut down by the SEC and IRS, they did look scammy. They looked really scammy.
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad that they did, and I'm sorry for those who invested, and if you were a developer on that project and that wasn't a scam, and it was just you guys,
or maybe they got scammed. Maybe the developers got scammed, or some of them. You never know, man.
Yeah, I mean, there actually are companies that you can outsource your whole ICO to. They handle your whole ICO for you, and they're like based out of Moscow usually or something. I saw a couple of those. I'm like, that's Putin money right there, trying to get around sanctions. He's got. Do you know how much money that guy's got?
Oh, he's a multi-billionaire.
Oh no, like hundreds of billions of dollars. This is outside. We're getting off topic, but yeah. I'm sure that there are nefarious reasons that Bitcoin and these currencies are being used. Like when we say whales, like the whales on the market.
Yeah.
Who are the whales? You know, I'm not really sure who those guys are. They could be just people who mined really early, but there's a lot of them, and I don't know. Some of them are probably foreign actors, like, and I could imagine a lot of Putin's money is flowing through the market.
Foreign actors. I mean, like major institutions. Like, I mean, when you see like orders filling for like 1,000 Bitcoin at the current prices, I mean, only institutional money or billionaires could be throwing around that kind of way,
Yeah, and it's so you talk about the whales, but like I don't know who are those whales.
It's interesting.
You'll never know. Well, maybe we'll know actually, because the IRS has all the
maybe
now.
Putin is a Satoshi Nakamoto. There's a theory. There's a conspiracy to throw around on the internet.
Putin coin. No, there is a communist coin. Is it Comrade coin or something? Not red coin. That's actually something else.
Well, cool. Well, let's bring it back in. I think we're getting a little conspiracy Alex Jonesy here.
Bitcoin's turning the frogs gay.
Dylan does a great Alex Jones impersonation, by the way.
I used to watch a lot of Alex Jones. I think he should make his own cryptocurrency. I think it would be really successful. He gets people to buy his products all the time. He's got bone juice.
Well, speaking of gullible people.
No, hey. Whoa. I was a fan of his for a long time.
Oh, jeez. I'm sorry, dude.
Well, he was all into the Illuminati. Let's not get into it. I don't like Alex Jones anymore. I feel betrayed by Alex Jones. I feel like he was fighting the Illuminati, and now he's actually just part of them. Like I feel like they replaced him. He's actually just one of the vampiric lizards in a human suit that he talks about. Multi-dimensional vampires. Have you heard him talk about?
No, I
multi-dimensional vampire coin. There you go.
I think I'm too skeptical for your average conspiracy. Anyway,
what else should we talk about?
Well, I think that's a lot. That's a lot for one episode of.
Should we cut it?
I think so.
I like this podcast format, and if you like this podcast format, leave a like or a
subscribe,
a clap, subscribe, all the things, retweet. I don't know how, we'll talk. Come find us next week. We'll do one next week.
I think we'll do another one pretty soon.
Yeah, we'll get them.
And if you guys have any suggestions, put those in the comments. Like any topics you want us to touch on, because pretty much my whole life at this point is just reading and researching blockchain and crypto. So I have so many things I want to talk about.
Crypto is life.
Dylan is more in the tech side of it. But I think between both of us, there's a lot of topics to talk about. Anyway, that's...
Yeah, leave a like if you liked our decorations. We were doing a Bitcoin seance. The markets were down today.
Yeah.
We had to get power.
Anyway, we'll leave it at that. Please follow us. That's the first Helios Decentral podcast.
Goodbye.
We'll see you next time.
See ya. Yeah.
All right.
I think that worked.
I want to do a better intro, though. I feel like we need to introduce ourselves a little better.